Chapter 155, Hongying's First Battle 2. The staff member was stunned for a moment. He's indeed a freshman. It's indeed different for a freshman to participate in the battle. Come, show me your personal information. Go in. A few seconds later, the staff was stunned. Why was the identity of this counselor a student? A T-King assistant, Gongling and Zuo Kinking, who had successfully sneaked in, patted their chests and heaved a sigh of relief. The inner area, especially the inner area where the actual combat participants were, was basically the area with the best view of the battle. Little Tui, thank you. Gongling hugged Zhu Tui's arm, allowing him to experience it again. But the good feeling was still short. The seats in the inner area were more casual. There were long rows in front and behind. Everyone sat down casually and silently waited for the actual combat exchange to begin. Soon, the crowd grew. In less than half an hour, the seats in the outer area were filled. Suddenly, with the commotion in the crowd, a young man dressed differently walked into the inner area. The leader was a guy with high cheekbones and slightly thick lips. Zhu Tui immediately narrowed his eyes when he saw this person. Haruji. Zhu Tui had specially looked through the special Weibo circle. This person was Haruji, the person who had insulted and jouked Saksui in the name of a challenge. Zhu Tui, that man with the bandana is Azari. He's your main target, Kuishi reminded Zhu Tui. Yes, he'll remember that. Soon, everyone had arrived. The leaders' seats were also filled with relevant officials. Zhu Tui saw another person at the leaders' area. Vice Chairman Liu of the Genetic Research Institute was also sitting in the leaders' area. After the two leaders spoke, they quickly got to the point. Since the Great Genetic Era, we humans have been exploring our way forward on the path of genetic evolution. That's how we got to where we are today. Communication and learning from each other was an extremely important process. Next, the elites from the second-year students of the New India Genetic Evolution College would have an actual combat exchange with the elites from the second-year students of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. We wish you success in this battle exchange. It was a beautiful speech, but as a participant, Zhu Tui understood the cruelty that awaited him. The rules of the actual combat exchange that had been agreed upon by both parties were also announced. The rules were similar to those in the Taiji Genetic Evolution College in the Korea sector. They would use a group defense battle. Both sides could send at most 10 people to participate in the battle. However, there was no limit to the number of times each participant could fight. As long as they did not lose and met the rules, they could continue fighting. The outcome of this combat exchange would end with the defeat of a certain party. The participants from both sides could freely choose their protective equipment. The protective equipment was provided by the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Emergency medical treatment was also provided by the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. The referee for the emergency intervention would be appointed by a teacher from each side. At the same time, there was a chief referee from the genetic committee of the Wuxia sector. If there were any disputes, this chief referee would give the final judgment. Zhu Tui did not recognize the teacher on duty outside the Indian sector, but he was very familiar with the teacher on duty outside the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Ku Qingshan, the associate professor of the School of General Senses who wanted to recruit Zhu Tui, had a shiny bald head. He was very eye-catching. According to the rules, we are the hosts. We will send a candidate to fight. Who will be the first to fight? This time, the teacher in charge, the head of the second years, and the extreme branch professor Hu Nanzhong took the initiative to ask. The first candidate to go on stage was actually the most difficult. This was because it was very likely that they would be targeted by the other party. The chances of them losing were extremely high, and the possibility of them getting injured was the highest. Kuishi's reaction was the fastest. I'm the captain. Let me be the first. No, your weakness is very obvious. Moreover, you have an opponent that you have to deal with. You can't be the first to go on stage. Hu Nanzhong directly rejected Kuishi. Zhu Tui's heart skipped a beat. He stood up. Just as he was about to speak, Kai Hongying suddenly said, "Let me fight the first battle. Their research on me should be the least." Hu Nanzhong looked at Kai Hongying. Among the 15 participants, Kai Hongying was actually ranked 12th. She was a candidate to deal with the opponent's mystery branch cultivators. Kai Hongying taking the initiative to step forward was a good choice. Just as Kai Hongying had said, there wasn't much of her information. It was very suitable for her to be the first to go on stage. Yes, be careful. When you fight, if you have a choice, try your best to choose the battlefield closer to Mr. Ku Qingshan. If anything unexpected happens, we can save you immediately, Hu Nanzhong said. I understand. Goon! Qi Hongying turned around and glanced at Chai Zhao. Before Chai Zhao could say anything, she jumped onto the combat arena without hesitation. Kai Hongying from the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. A clear voice rang out. As for the protective equipment, Kai Hongying, Zhu Tuik, and the others were all equipped. Kai Hongying chose the light and flexible armor that protected her vital parts. The Wuxia Genetic Evolution College students wore pure black armor. Kai Hongying's long hair, which had been dyed 3 colors, was tied with a red ribbon today.